The bridge of the celestial dawn hummed with the quiet sounds of deep space travel. Captain Hyunwoo sat in his command chair, watching the stars drift past on the main viewing screen. His ship was a merchant vessel not built for war or adventure. It carried cargo between distant planets, making money one delivery at a time. The work was boring most days, but it paid well enough to keep his crew fed and happy. Hyunwoo was a tall man with dark hair starting to show gray at the temples. He had been a ship captain for 15 years, and he knew the trade routes like the back of his hand. His crew was small but skilled. They trusted him and he trusted them. That trust mattered more than anything else in the cold darkness of space. The navigation console beeped suddenly. Sora, the ship's navigator, looked up from her screen. She was a young woman with sharp eyes and quick hands. Her job was to plot courses through space and keep them away from danger. She frowned at something on her display. "Captain, I am picking up something strange," Sora said. Her voice was calm, but Hyunwoo heard the concern underneath. "It looks like a distress signal." Hyunwoo sat forward in his chair. Distress signals were rare in this part of space. Most ships traveled in groups or stayed close to safe zones. A ship in trouble out here was either very unlucky or very foolish. "Can you clean up the signal?" he asked. Sora worked her controls for a moment. The bridge speakers crackled with static, then a voice came through. It was high and musical, speaking in the common galactic language that most species used for trade. "This is Research Station Velix Prime. We are under attack. I repeat, we are under attack. Raiders have breached our outer defenses. We have no weapons. We have no soldiers. Please, if anyone can hear this, we need help. Our shields are failing. They will be inside within hours. Please help us." The voice belonged to a Velixian, Hyunwoo was certain. The Velixians were a peaceful species who spent their time studying science and art. They built research stations in quiet parts of space, far from trouble. Or at least they tried to stay far from trouble. Dae-ho, the ship's engineer, spoke up from his station near the back of the bridge. He was a stocky man with strong hands and a practical mind. He kept the ship running no matter what problems came up. "Captain, that station is 40 minutes away at maximum speed," Dae-ho said, checking his calculations. "We could reach them in time." Ji-won, the medical officer, turned in her seat. She was a gentle woman who hated seeing anyone suffer. Her medical bay was always ready for emergencies, but she preferred treating small injuries and common sickness. War wounds were something else entirely. "Captain, we should help them," Ji-won said quietly. "Those Velixians are scientists. They do not hurt anyone." Hyunwoo nodded slowly. He knew Ji-won was right, but he also knew that answering a distress call meant putting his own crew in danger. The Celestial Dawn had some weapons, but it was not a warship. If the raiders were strong enough to attack a research station, they might be strong enough to destroy a merchant vessel too. Min-ho, the pilot, spoke without looking away from his controls. He was the youngest member of the crew, but he could fly the ship through asteroid fields and solar storms without breaking a sweat. "If we are going to do this, we need to decide now," Min-ho said. "Every minute we wait, those people get closer to dying." Tai-yang, the security officer, stood up from his station. He was the biggest man on the crew, with broad shoulders and a face that rarely smiled. His job was to protect the ship and crew from pirates, smugglers, and anyone else who might cause trouble. He checked his weapon automatically, a habit from years of training. "Captain, most merchant ships would ignore this call," Tai-yang said. His voice was deep and steady. "Running toward trouble is not smart business. The other species out here, they would keep flying. They would tell themselves it is not their problem." Hyunwoo looked at his security officer. Tai-yang was not finished speaking. "But we are human," Tai-yang continued. "We do not ignore distress calls. We never have. It is not in our nature." The captain stood up from his chair. He walked to the front of the bridge and looked at the stars on the viewing screen. Somewhere out there, people were dying. They had sent a message into the void, hoping someone would care enough to help. Most species would not care. Most species would protect themselves first and worry about strangers never. But humans were different. Humans came from Earth, a world so dangerous that just surviving another day was an accomplishment. Earth had crushing gravity, poisonous creatures, deadly weather, and predators that hunted in packs. The humans who evolved there learned to be tough. They learned to fight. They learned to protect their own. And somewhere along the way, humans had decided that protecting their own meant protecting anyone who asked for help. Hyunwoo turned back to his crew. They were watching him, waiting for his decision. He could see the hope in Jiwan's eyes. He could see the readiness in Taiyang's posture. He could see the determination on every face. These were his people. They were human. And humans answered distress calls. Minho, set course for Velix Prime, Hyunwoo ordered. Maximum speed. Yes, Captain, Minho replied. His hands flew over the controls. The Celestial Dawn's engines roared to life, pushing the ship faster through space. Taeyang, get the weapons ready, Hyunwoo continued. Daeho, make sure the shields are at full power. Jiwan, prepare the medical bay for casualties. The crew moved quickly to follow his orders. Each person knew their job and did it without hesitation. This was what made them a good crew. They worked together like parts of a machine, smooth and efficient. Sora opened a channel back to the research station. She adjusted the frequency until the signal was clear. Felix Prime, this is the merchant vessel Celestial Dawn, Sora transmitted. We received your distress call. We are coming to help. Hold on. We will be there soon. There was a moment of silence. Then the Velixian voice came back, shaking with relief and disbelief. You are coming? Truly? Oh, thank the stars. My name is Thora. I am the station director. We thought no one would answer. We thought we were going to die here. You are not going to die, Thora, Hyunwoo said, taking over the communication. We are human. We answer distress calls. Always. Just stay alive until we get there. Another pause. Then Thora's voice came back, quieter now, more thoughtful. She had just realized what Hyunwoo had said. Human. The word carried weight in the galaxy. It carried reputation, and that reputation was about to save her life, though she did not yet understand the full cost of calling for human help. The Celestial Dawn raced through space at full speed. The engines roared, pushing the merchant ship faster than it was designed to go. Daeho watched his control panels carefully, making small adjustments to keep everything running smoothly. The ship shook slightly from the strain, but it held together. It always did when Daeho was in charge of the engines. On the bridge, Sora studied her navigation screens. The route to Velix Prime was clear of obstacles, which was good. They needed to arrive as quickly as possible. She glanced at the countdown timer she had set. 35 minutes until they reached the research station. 35 minutes for the Velixians to survive. Captain Hyunwoo stood behind her, watching the stars streak past on the main screen. His face was calm, but his mind was working through all the possible scenarios. What kind of raiders would attack a peaceful research station? What weapons would they have? How many ships? These questions mattered because they would decide how the battle would go. Captain, Sora said, breaking the silence. I have been thinking about something. What is it? Hyunwoo asked. The Velixians do not really understand what they did when they called for help, Sora said carefully. They do not know about humans the way other species do. They probably just sent out a general distress signal hoping anyone would come. Hyunwoo nodded. He had been thinking the same thing. The Velixians were researchers and artists. They spent their time studying the universe and creating beautiful things. They rarely left their stations and laboratories. They probably did not follow galactic politics or military news. You think we should tell them? Hyunwoo asked. Yes, Captain, Sora replied. They should know what is coming to save them. Hyunwoo considered this for a moment, then nodded. Sora was right. The Velixians deserved to know. He gestured for her to open a communication channel. Thora, this is Captain Hyunwoo again, he said into the comm system. Can you hear me? Yes, Captain, Thora's voice came back. She sounded frightened but trying to stay calm. We can hear you. The raiders are still outside, but they are cutting through our outer hull. It will not be long now. Listen to me carefully, Thora, Hyunwoo said. I need you to understand something about my crew. We are human. Do you know what that means? There was a pause. Then Thora answered slowly. I have heard of humans. You come from a planet called Earth. It is far from here. That is correct, Hyunwoo said. But Earth is not just far away. It is different from most planets where intelligent life evolved. Earth is classified as a Class 12 death world. Do you know what that means? I am not sure, Thora admitted. Her voice carried confusion now mixed with the fear. Sora spoke up, taking over the explanation. She had studied galactic history and knew the classifications well. A death world is a planet where survival is extremely difficult, she said. Most planets where life evolves are gentle places. Soft gravity, mild weather, few predators. Earth is not like that. Earth has gravity that would crush most species, Sora continued. It has weather that can kill in minutes. Hurricanes, tornadoes, blizzards, heat waves. The temperature can swing from burning hot to freezing cold. And the life forms that evolved there had to adapt to all of this. Taiyang walked to the front of the bridge to join the conversation. His large frame cast a shadow across the control panels. Earth has predators everywhere, he added. In the water, on the land, in the air. Some of them hunt in packs. Some of them are so poisonous that one bite means death. And the plants can be dangerous too. Some of them are toxic. Some of them have thorns that can pierce skin. But humans survived all of that, Minho called out from the pilot seat. We learned to hunt the predators that hunted us. We learned to work together in groups. We learned to make tools and weapons. We learned to never give up no matter how bad things got. Jiwan spoke more gently from her medical station. What they are trying to tell you, Thora, is that humans evolved to be survivors. We are stronger than most species because of the gravity. We are tougher because of the climate. We are more aggressive because we had to be, just to live another day. Other species in the galaxy, they evolved on gentle worlds, Hyunwoo said. When they meet danger, their instinct is to run or hide. That is smart for them. But humans are different. When we meet danger, we fight. We do not run. We do not hide. We face it head on. Thora was quiet for a long moment. When she spoke again, her voice was different. Less afraid. More thoughtful. I think I am beginning to understand, she said. You are predators. Yes, Taiyang said simply. We are predators. We evolved from hunters who chased prey for hours until it collapsed from exhaustion. We are persistence hunters. We never stop. We never quit. And when someone threatens our crew or anyone who asked for our help, we respond the only way we know how. With violence, Thora said quietly. With overwhelming force. Hyunwoo corrected. We do not start fights, Thora, but we finish them. The raiders attacking your station are about to learn what it means to anger a human crew. Daeho spoke up from engineering. Captain, we are 20 minutes out. Shields are at full power. Weapons are charged and ready. Thank you, Daeho, Hyunwoo acknowledged. Then he spoke to Thora again. You need to gather your people and get to the most secure location in your station. Seal yourselves in. We will handle the raiders. Captain Hyunwoo, Thora said. Her voice was steadier now. I want to thank you. Not just for coming to help us, but for explaining what you are. Most species in the galaxy do not answer distress calls. They think only of themselves. But you came when we called, even though it puts you in danger. We came because it was the right thing to do, Hyunwoo said. That is what humans do. We protect people who cannot protect themselves. It is part of who we are. But there is something you should know, Taeyang added. His voice was hard and cold. When we protect people, we show them mercy. We help them heal. We treat them with kindness. But the ones who hurt them, the raiders who attacked your station, they get no mercy. None at all. We are coming to save you, Thora, Hyunwoo said. But we are also coming for the raiders, and they are about to learn why the galaxy has a simple rule. Never threaten anyone under human protection. Sora checked her screens again. Captain, I am picking up the research station on sensors. I also have multiple contacts near it. 5 raider ships. They are small vessels but heavily armed. 5 ships, Minho said. That is a lot for one merchant vessel. They do not know we are coming yet, Taeyang observed. We still have the element of surprise, Hyunwoo smiled. It was not a pleasant smile. It was the smile of a predator who had found its prey. Good, he said. Let them be surprised. Minho, bring us in fast. Taeyang, target their engines first. I want them disabled, not destroyed. We will give them one chance to surrender. And if they do not surrender, Minho asked. Then we show them what Deathworlders do to raiders who prey on the innocent, Hyunwoo replied. The celestial dawn flew onward through the darkness. Behind them was the safety of empty space. Ahead of them was danger and violence. But the crew did not hesitate. They were human. This was what humans did. They ran toward danger instead of away from it. They protected the weak instead of exploiting them. And soon the raiders at Velix Prime would understand why the rest of the galaxy feared and respected humanity in equal measure. The celestial dawn dropped out of hyperspace like a hammer falling from the sky. One moment the space around Velix Prime was empty except for the 5 raider ships. The next moment a human merchant vessel appeared in a flash of light and energy. Minho had timed the arrival perfectly. bringing them in close enough to be threatening but far enough to react if the raiders attacked first. The research station hung in space ahead of them, a large circular structure with gleaming metal walls and observation domes. It looked peaceful and beautiful, exactly the kind of place scientists would build to study the stars, but now it was wounded. Holes had been cut in the outer hull. Debris floated around it. One of the docking bays showed signs of forced entry. The 5 raider ships were clustered around the station like predators around injured prey. They were ugly vessels, built for speed and violence rather than beauty. Their hulls were scarred and patched. Their weapons were clearly visible, mounted on every available surface. These were ships designed by people who took what they wanted by force. "Captain, the raiders are hailing us," Sora reported. "They want to know who we are and what we want." Hyunwoo stood up from his command chair. He adjusted his uniform jacket, taking his time. "Let the raiders wait. Let them wonder." Finally, he nodded to Sora. "Put them on screen." The main viewing screen changed from showing the station to showing the interior of one of the raider ships. A large alien sat in what appeared to be a captain's chair. He had 4 arms, gray skin, and small black eyes. His face was ugly even by alien standards, with a wide mouth full of sharp teeth. This was a Krylax, a species known across the galaxy for piracy and violence. "Who are you?" the Krylax demanded. His voice was rough and harsh. "This is our prize. We claimed it first. Go find your own target," Hyunwoo smiled. It was a cold smile that did not reach his eyes. "I am Captain Hyunwoo of the merchant vessel Celestial Dawn. We received a distress call from this research station. We are here to provide assistance," the Krylax captain laughed. It was an ugly sound, like rocks grinding together. "Assistance? Merchant ship? You are no military vessel. You have no business here. Leave now or we will add your cargo to our haul." "I am giving you one warning," Hyunwoo said. His voice was calm, but everyone on his bridge could hear the steel underneath. "Leave this station immediately. Return to your territory. Do not come back." The Krylax captain stared at him in disbelief. Then he laughed again, harder this time. His crew, visible in the background, joined in. They thought this was funny. A single merchant ship ordering 5 raider vessels to leave. "You are either very brave or very stupid," the Krylax said. "We are 5 ships. You are 1. We have weapons that could tear your hull apart. What do you have?" "We have something better," Hyunwoo replied. "We have humans." The laughter stopped. The Krylax captain leaned forward in his chair, his small eyes studying the screen more carefully. "Humans?" he repeated. "From Earth?" "That is correct," Hyunwoo said. "Now I have given you your warning. What happens next is your choice. You can leave peacefully or you can stay and face the consequences." The Krylax captain sat back. He spoke to someone off-screen, probably his crew. Then he turned back to face Hyunwoo. "I have heard stories about humans," he said. "Stories about Deathworlders who think they are warriors. But stories are just stories. You are 1 ship. We are 5. The mathematics are simple. Mathematics do not win battles." Taeyang spoke up from his station. "Will does. And you have never faced anyone with a will like ours?" The Krylax captain sneered. "Big words from a merchant crew. Let us see if you can back them up." "Attack formation!" he shouted to his ships. The screen went blank as the communication ended. Immediately, the 5 raider ships began to move, spreading out to surround the Celestial Dawn. Their weapons powered up, glowing with energy. They were preparing for battle. "So much for giving them a chance," Minho muttered. "Their mistake, not ours," Hyunwoo said. "Taeyang, target the lead ship. Disable their weapons and engines. Minho, evasive pattern Delta. Show them what a real pilot can do." "Yes, Captain." Both men responded together. The Celestial Dawn moved with sudden speed and grace that seemed impossible for a merchant vessel. Minho's hands flew over the controls, spinning the ship in ways that made the raiders' targeting systems struggle to lock on. The merchant ship danced through space like a fighter craft, not like a cargo hauler. The raiders fired first. Energy beams and missiles streaked through space toward the Celestial Dawn. But Minho was already moving, already anticipating their shots. The merchant ship twisted and rolled, and every shot missed by meters. "Returning fire," Taeyang announced calmly. The Celestial Dawn's weapons were not as numerous as the raiders' weapons, but they were more accurate. Much more accurate. Taeyang had been a military gunner before joining Hyunwoo's crew, and he had never lost his edge. His first shot struck the lead raider ship directly in the engine section. The ship's propulsion system exploded in a shower of sparks and debris. The raider vessel went dark and began to drift. "One down," Tae-yang said. "4 to go." The raiders seemed shocked. They had expected an easy fight against a merchant ship. Instead, they were facing a crew that moved like trained soldiers. They hesitated, uncertain. That hesitation was their second mistake. Hyun-woo pressed the advantage. "Dae-ho, transfer all available power to weapons and shields. Sora, feed targeting data to Tae-yang. Min-ho, bring us around for another pass." The crew worked with practiced efficiency. Every person knew exactly what to do. They had trained together for years, running drills for situations just like this. A merchant crew had to be ready for anything in deep space. Pirates were common. Raiders were a constant threat. Most merchant captains avoided fights when possible. But Hyun-woo had trained his crew to win fights when avoiding them was not an option. The celestial dawn came around in a tight arc that should have been impossible for a ship its size. Min-ho pushed the engines to their limits, and the ship responded perfectly. Dae-ho had built fail-safes into every system. The ship could handle much more stress than it appeared capable of. "Second target locked," Tae-yang reported. Firing. Another raider ship took a direct hit. This time, Tae-yang targeted the weapon systems. The raiders' gun mounts exploded, tearing holes in the hull. Atmosphere vented into space. The ship was not destroyed, but it was no longer a threat. "2 down," Tae-yang said. Now the remaining 3 raiders began to panic. They had seen 2 of their ships disabled in less than 2 minutes. They fired wildly, desperately, trying to land any hit on the merchant vessel. But Min-ho kept them moving, kept them alive, and Tae-yang kept finding targets. The 3rd raider ship tried to run. It turned away from the battle, engines burning at maximum power. But Sora had predicted this. She had been tracking all 5 ships, calculating their likely movements. She fed the targeting data to Tae-yang half a second before the raider even began to turn. Tae-yang fired. The shot was perfect. It struck the fleeing ship's engines and they died instantly. The ship went dark and tumbled through space out of control. 3 down, Tae-yang said. He sounded almost bored now. The last 2 raiders had seen enough. They broadcast on all frequencies at once, their messages garbled with fear. "Ceasefire. Ceasefire! We surrender. Please, we surrender." Hyun-woo held up his hand.
"Hold fire, Tae-yang." The weapon stopped.
The celestial dawn hung in space, engines still running, ready to fight again if needed. But the raiders were done. They powered down their weapons and backed away slowly, carefully, like animals retreating from a predator. Hyun-woo opened a channel to all the raider ships. "This is your only warning," he said, his voice cold and hard. "Leave the system now. Do not come back. If I ever see you near a research station or any peaceful vessel again, I will not show mercy. I will not accept surrender. I will destroy you completely. Do you understand?" "Yes." "Yes, we understand." The raiders responded. "We are leaving." "We are leaving now." The 2 functioning raider ships grabbed their disabled companions with tractor beams and fled into the darkness of space. Within minutes, they were gone, jumping to hyperspace as soon as they were far enough from the station. The battle was over. The Velixians were safe, and the Krylax Syndicate had learned a valuable lesson about what happens when you threaten anyone under human protection. The celestial dawn approached Velix Prime slowly, carefully. The battle was over, but the work was not done. Hyun-woo wanted to make sure there were no more raiders hiding nearby, waiting to attack. Sora scanned every corner of the surrounding space while Min-ho guided the ship toward the research station's main docking bay. "Captain, I am receiving a message from Thora," Sora reported. "She wants to thank us personally." "Put her through," Hyun-woo said. Thora's face appeared on the screen. She looked exhausted and shaken, but alive. Her large eyes were wet with tears of relief. Behind her, other Velixians could be seen, all of them looking grateful and amazed. "Captain Hyun-woo," Thora said. Her voice trembled with emotion. "I do not have words to express our gratitude. We watched the battle on our sensors. 5 ships against 1. We thought you would surely be destroyed. But you defeated them so quickly, so efficiently. I have never seen anything like it." "We did what we came to do," Hyun-woo replied simply. "Are you and your people safe?" "Did the raiders get inside the station?" "They breached the outer hull in 3 places," Thora said. "But they never reached the intersections where we were hiding. Your arrival stopped them in time. We are safe thanks to you." "Good," Hyun-woo said. "We are docking now. My medical officer will come aboard to check for injuries. My engineer will help repair your hull breaches, and my security officer will make sure there are no raiders still hiding on your station. You are too kind, Thora said. We will prepare to receive you. The celestial dawn connected to the research station with a soft clang of metal on metal. The docking clamps engaged, creating an airtight seal. Hyunwoo stood up from his command chair and gestured to his crew. Jiwon, Taeyang, Daeho, you are with me, he ordered. Minho and Sora, stay on the ship. Keep the engines ready in case we need to leave quickly. Yes, Captain. They all responded. The team gathered at the airlock. Taeyang checked his weapon one more time. Jiwon carried her medical bag, packed with supplies for treating injuries. Daeho had his toolkit and several portable repair devices. They were ready for whatever they might find on the station. The airlock opened with a hiss of equalizing pressure. On the other side stood Thora and several other Velixians. They were tall and slender, with pale blue skin and large eyes that seemed to take in everything. Their bodies were delicate-looking compared to the humans, almost fragile. Thora stepped forward first. She placed one hand over her heart in what appeared to be a Velixian gesture of respect. Welcome to Velix Prime, she said. You saved our lives. We are forever in your debt. You owe us nothing, Hyunwoo said. We answered your call because it was right, not because we expected payment. Thora looked at him with something close to wonder. Most species in the galaxy do not think that way, she said quietly. Most think only of profit and advantage. But you risked your lives for strangers, for people you had never met. Why? Jiwon spoke up gently. Because someone needed help, she said. That is reason enough. Thora studied the human crew. She seemed to be seeing them with new eyes now, understanding what they truly were. Predators from a death world who had chosen to use their strength to protect the weak instead of exploit them. Come, Thora said. Let me show you the damage. And let me introduce you to my people. They need to see the ones who saved them. The Velixians led the human crew through the research station. It was a beautiful place filled with scientific equipment and works of art. The walls were decorated with paintings and sculptures. The laboratories gleamed with advanced technology. This was a place built by people who valued knowledge and beauty above all else. But now it was scarred. The raider attack had left marks. Doors had been forced open. Equipment had been smashed. In some areas, the walls still showed burn marks from energy weapons. The Velixians had been lucky. If the humans had arrived even a few minutes later, the raiders would have broken through to the inner sections. Jiwon examined the Velixian researchers one by one. Most had only minor injuries from the panic and confusion of the attack. A few had more serious problems, stress-related illnesses brought on by fear. She treated each one carefully, speaking in a soft voice that helped calm them. Daeho inspected the hull breaches with Thora's engineering team. The damage was extensive but repairable. He showed them how to reinforce the weak points and seal the holes properly. His hands moved with confidence and skill, and the Velixian engineers watched in fascination. Taeyang walked through the station with 2 other security personnel, checking every room and corridor. He wanted to make absolutely certain no raiders had stayed behind, but the station was clear. The Krylax had not been brave enough to stay once they realized humans were involved. After an hour of work, Hyunwoo gathered his team back at the docking area. Jiwon looked tired but satisfied. Her medical work was done. Daeho had finished setting up the emergency repairs. Taeyang confirmed the station was secure. Captain, Jiwon said quietly, I need to speak with you privately. Hyunwoo saw the concern in her eyes and nodded. They stepped into a small side room away from the Velixians. Jiwon closed the door behind them. What is it? Hyunwoo asked. Youngsu and Yoonji, Jiwon said. Her voice was heavy with sadness. During the battle, a raider shot hit near their stations. Youngsu took shrapnel in his chest. Yoonji suffered burns when a console exploded. I treated them as best I could, but... She paused. Youngsu's injuries are serious. He needs surgery beyond what I can provide here. And Yoonji will have scars, permanent ones. Hyunwoo closed his eyes briefly. Youngsu was a good man, quiet and reliable. He worked in communications. Yoonji was their cargo specialist, always cheerful and hardworking. Both had been with his crew for years, and now they were hurt because he had decided to answer a distress call. Will Youngsu survive until we reach a proper medical facility? Hyunwoo asked. Yes, Jiwon said. If we leave within the hour. I have stabilized him for now. Then we leave, Hyunwoo decided. Daeho has done what he can for the station. They can handle the rest of the repairs themselves. They returned to the main area where Thora was waiting. She took one look at their faces and understood immediately. Something is wrong, she said. 2 of my crew were injured during the battle, Hyunwoo explained. We need to get them to a medical station. Thora's face filled with horror and guilt. Oh no, I am so sorry. This is our fault. You came to help us and your people were hurt. This is terrible. It is not your fault, Hyunwoo said firmly. It is the raiders' fault. They attacked you. They shot at us. We knew the risks when we came. But you came anyway, Thora said. Tears ran down her face now. You knew the danger. You knew you might be hurt, but you came to save us anyway. Yes, Taeyang said simply. That is what humans do. Thora looked at each of the humans in turn. She was beginning to understand the true nature of what had happened here. Sending an SOS to Earth came at a price, not a price paid in money or trade goods, a price paid in human blood and courage. The humans would save you if you called them. They would fight for you. They would protect you with their lives. But they expected you to remember what it cost them. We will never forget, Thora promised. We will tell everyone what you did for us. We will make sure the galaxy knows that humans answered our call when no one else would, and we will honor the sacrifice of Youngsu and Yoonji. Just be more careful, Hyunwoo said. Install better defenses. Keep your shield strong, and if raiders come again, do not hesitate to call for help. But try to avoid needing help in the first place. We will, Thora promised. And Captain, thank you. Thank you for everything. The humans returned to their ship. The airlock sealed behind them. The docking clamps released with a mechanical hiss. The Celestial Dawn pulled away from Velix Prime and turned toward the nearest medical station, carrying its wounded crew members home. Behind them, the Velixians watched through their observation ports, grateful to be alive but beginning to understand the terrible weight of calling for human help. 3 days after the battle at Velix Prime, Thora sat in her office watching the data streams flow across her computer screen. The station was quiet again, peaceful. The repairs were progressing well. Her research team had returned to their work, though some of them still jumped at unexpected sounds. The trauma of the raider attack would take time to heal, but Thora had work to do. Important work. She had made a promise to Captain Hyunwoo, and she intended to keep it. The galaxy needed to know what had happened here. They needed to understand what it meant when humans answered a distress call. She had spent the past 2 days compiling data. The station's sensors had recorded everything during the battle. Every movement of the ships. Every shot fired. Every tactical decision made by both sides. She had organized it all into a comprehensive report, complete with video footage and tactical analysis. Now she prepared to upload it to the Galactic Network, the vast communication system that connected all civilized species across known space. Once uploaded, the information would be available to anyone who wanted to see it. Every government, every military, every merchant captain, everyone would know what happened at Velix Prime. Thora wrote her introduction carefully, choosing each word with precision. She wanted to be clear and honest. No exaggeration, no emotional appeals, just the facts presented plainly so everyone could understand. Research Station Velix Prime was attacked by 5 vessels belonging to the Krylax Syndicate, she wrote. We had no weapons and no military training. We sent a distress signal, not expecting anyone to answer. Most species would have ignored our call. It was not their problem. We were strangers in a dangerous part of space. Helping us meant risking their own lives. But one ship answered, the Celestial Dawn, a human merchant vessel captained by Hyunwoo. They came at maximum speed. They engaged 5 raider ships with only 1 vessel, and they won. The battle lasted less than 10 minutes. The human crew fought with precision and skill that seemed impossible. They disabled 3 raider ships and forced the other 2 to flee. We watched in amazement. We had heard stories about humans, about Deathworlders from a brutal planet, but seeing them in action was something else entirely. After the battle, the humans came aboard our station. They repaired our damage. They treated our injured. They did not ask for payment. They did not demand anything in return. They came because we needed help, and that was reason enough. But there was a cost. 2 members of their crew were injured during the battle. Youngsu and Yoonji. They were hurt protecting us. The humans paid this price willingly, but it was a price nonetheless. When you send an SOS to Earth, they will come. They will save you. But remember that their help is not free. It is paid for with human courage and human blood. Thora paused, reading over what she had written. It was good. It was honest. She added the sensor data and video footage to the file. Then she took a deep breath and uploaded everything to the Galactic network. The file spread quickly. Within hours, it had been viewed millions of times. Within a day, it had reached every corner of civilized space. Everyone wanted to see the footage of the battle. Everyone wanted to watch a single human merchant ship defeat 5 raiders. The video was remarkable. It showed the Celestial Dawn moving with impossible grace, dodging shots that should have hit, landing strikes with perfect accuracy. It showed human tactics and human determination, and it showed the raiders fleeing in panic when they realized what they were fighting. Military analysts across the galaxy studied the footage carefully. They dissected every maneuver, every decision. They tried to understand how 5 ships lost to 1. The conclusions were always the same. The humans had better training, better coordination, and most importantly, better will to fight. The raiders had expected easy prey. They had found predators instead. In the Krylax Syndicate's territory, the video had an immediate effect. The 5 ships that had fled from Velix Prime returned home with their tale of defeat. At first, their leaders did not believe them. 5 ships beaten by 1 merchant vessel? Impossible. But then the footage appeared on the Galactic network and there was no denying it. The Krylax Syndicate held an emergency meeting. Their fleet commanders gathered to discuss the situation. They watched the video again and again, studying the human tactics, analyzing the human ship. Then they made a decision. The next day, every Krylax vessel received an update to their targeting databases. Next to entries marked human or Earth or any variation thereof, a new notation appeared in bold red letters. Do not engage. The Krylax had learned their lesson. Humans were not prey. Humans were predators, and predators from Deathworlds were best avoided entirely. Other pirate groups and raider syndicates made similar decisions. Word spread through the criminal underworld of the galaxy. Humans would answer distress calls. Humans would protect the innocent, and humans would show absolutely no mercy to those who preyed on the weak. If you attacked someone and humans came to help them, your best option was to run. Your second best option was to surrender immediately. Fighting was not an option at all. In the legitimate shipping lanes and trade routes, the video had a different effect. Merchant captains and transport crews watched with fascination and hope. Most of them had ignored distress calls in the past, too afraid to risk their ships and lives. But seeing what humans had done made them think differently. Some species began changing their policies. They started answering distress calls more often. They trained their crews in combat. They installed better weapons. The humans had shown them that it was possible to be both merchants and protectors. You did not have to be a warship to fight for what was right, but most species still hesitated. They were not predators. They did not have the instincts or the training. They would never be able to fight like humans fought. And that was okay. The galaxy had humans now. If you needed help, you could call them. They would come. On a small medical station near the human colony worlds, Young-Soo lay in a recovery bed. His chest was bandaged where the shrapnel had been removed. The surgery had been successful. He would live. In the room next to his, Yoonji sat looking at her scarred hands. The burns had been treated, but the marks would never completely fade. She would carry these scars for the rest of her life. Captain Hyunwoo visited them both every day. He felt responsible for their injuries. He had made the decision to answer the distress call. He had put them in danger. But when he tried to apologize, they stopped him. "Captain, do not apologize," Young-Soo said from his bed. His voice was weak but firm. "We knew what we were doing. We chose to answer that call. All of us chose." "He is right," Yoonji agreed. "We are human. We answer distress calls. That is who we are. I am proud of what we did. These scars?" She held up her hands. "These scars mean something. They mean we saved lives. They mean we stood up to raiders and won. I would not trade that for anything." Hyunwoo felt the weight lift from his shoulders slightly. His crew did not blame him. They were proud of what they had accomplished. As they should be. "When you are both recovered," Hyunwoo said, "you will have the choice to return to the ship or to take other positions. No one will blame you if you want to stay planetside from now on." Young-Soo and Eunji looked at each other. Then they looked back at their captain. "We are coming back to the ship," Young-Soo said. "Of course we are," Yoonji added. "That is our home. You are our family, And next time someone sends a distress call, we will be there to answer it." Hyunwoo smiled. He had a good crew. The best crew. They were human, and they would never stop being who they were. They would answer distress calls. They would protect the innocent. They would fight for what was right. And yes, sometimes they would get hurt. Sometimes they would pay a price for their heroism. But that was the human way. That was what it meant to come from a death world. You were strong enough to protect others. You were brave enough to face danger. And you were compassionate enough to care about strangers who needed help. Across the galaxy, the message had been received and understood. If you sent an SOS to Earth, humans would come. They would save you. They would fight for you. They would show mercy to victims and none to predators. But remember the cost. Remember Youngsu and Yoonji. Remember that human help is paid for with human sacrifice. And in the dark corners of space where pirates and raiders gathered, a new understanding took hold. There were some species you could prey upon, species that would not fight back, species that would surrender easily. But humans were not among them. Humans were Deathworlders. Humans were predators. And humans showed no mercy. The galaxy was safer now in its own way. Not because there were fewer threats, but because there was finally a species willing to stand up to those threats. A species that answered distress calls. A species that protected the weak. A species that would travel through the darkness of space to fight for strangers they had never met. That species was humanity, and the galaxy would never forget what that meant.